Welcome to meeting number of 13 of Turning Point Toastmaster Club. I am Rajesh Pagal, Sergeant at Arms for today meetings. In this club, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmaster meetings. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded. So any point of times it may be not be possible to pause the recording. To move the meeting smoothly, there are certain ground rules. So audience, please advise that any behavior that disrupt the flow of meeting will result in removal from the meeting without any warning. Please ensure that your noise making devices are either in the switch off or in the silent mode. Please speak responsibly in the religion, sex, and politics in your speeches. As far as possible, please keep your video on and audio off and upload whenever required. For the role players, Toastmaster of the Day, Table Topic Masters, and General Evaluators, please ensure a smart audio and video check before you hand over the stage to the role players. And all the role players, please rename your names like your role, then hyphen name and your club number. If you are part of the Toastmaster Club, then no need to put the Toastmaster Club name. Please equate yourselves with the role of timer. The timer will use the background changes or screen sharing to indicate the time using one of these cards. Either green means that you have good to go, and yellow, it indicates that good time to start the concludings. Red, specify that you have only 30 seconds to more or you will be disqualified. We encourage you to use the Zoom emotion generously to encourage the role players. We sincerely request not to send chat message to everyone or the speaker on the stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether and focus on the speaker. Now send, now I'm handing over my stage to presiding officer. He is none other than Nimit Mittal, who is the technology lead in the IT industry. And over to Nimit.
Thank you, Sanjay Natams Rajesh, for doing that commendable job and kicking off the meeting in style. So, can we have a huge round of applause for everyone present here and for this very special event? Right. So yes, I mean, why not keep our videos on so that I can see everyone and let us emulate what a physical meeting looks like, isn't it? So we have a plethora of guests today to come to this very special event. This is a joint meeting between the two greats of this world, of Toastmasters world. I will say one from the community side of Turning Point Toastmasters, who is just bearing the flag to achieve everything in this particular year. And then we have one of the most premier institutes, MBA institutes of India, Great Lakes Gurgaon, a very premier uh, MBA institution, but also a very premier Toastmasters club. So it's for the first time in the history of both clubs, we are meeting together. And in order to bring the best out of each other, let us give our best, be at our best behavior, like the Sergeant at Arms said, and be on the video on mode. So we have a very special theme, a very MBA theme, I would say, to match the specialty of this event. CV of failures. Wow. I mean, when I got to know about this theme, I was very intrigued. I'm sure you all might have also seen the posters of this meeting and were intrigued as well. Although I am not very sure, because I'm now 10 years experienced into the industry, and I mean, it's been a long time when I was in any institute for that matter. And when I was just reflecting upon this theme, CV of failures. I mean, whenever I have created my CV, so it never talked about any failures, and I'm sure it's the case with everyone here as well, right? But then many things, if I look back at it, I have not mentioned about my failures in school or colleges, although I'm in IT from last 10 years. But I never mentioned there that I failed in computers in school. I never mentioned that I just passed at line in computers in college. And I never mentioned that even in my training, I did horribly bad in my training, and was about to just get kicked off from the uh, training and my first project as well. But then things got better, and I would say this failure taught me something or the other. And I completely believe in the fact that either we win or we learn. Right. On that note, I congratulate the Toastmaster of the day for bringing such an intriguing thing to us. But to bring him on the virtual stage, let us first acknowledge all the guests present here. Or for the paucity of time, I wouldn't be able to take all your names, but we would look forward to have you during our table topic section, where you will get a chance to speak, and later on during the feedback section, where you can share with us what you took from this meeting as well. To bring him on the stage, I would like to call upon my fellow colleague, fellow presiding officer from Great Lakes, Toastmaster Yash Gupta. So he is yet another very professional person, and he's serving as a VP membership of that club, who has joined the club 6 months back, and is taking the clubs to greater heights. So can we have the presiding officer of Great Lakes, Toastmaster Yash Gupta, on the stage, please? Can we have him with a huge round of applause?
Thank you, Toastmaster Nimit, for such an introduction. Now, it's always nice. You get so much exposure from the people who are in industry, and also seeing so many guests on the screen and in such a different style of conducting the meeting and all is really interesting, and it's so prismatic. It brings the best out of both the groups. And well, talking about Toastmaster isn't could be anything but that's learning from each other. Like we all learn from each other. So much has been said by the Toastmaster Nimit, and without wasting any further time, and with such an interesting theme of the today's meeting, like the CV of failures, I like to introduce the person who came up with such an interesting and intriguing theme, the Toastmaster Mudit. Now, the Toastmaster Mudit is the vice president for our club, the Toastmaster Great Lakes. Now, he likes to do theater and the street plays. Now, with the same passion and the same energy level, I believe that he will be bringing so much energy into our meeting. And I'll welcome Toastmaster Mudit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yash. So, first of all, I would like to thank all the presiding officers here, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. Before starting the meeting, let me ask you a simple question first. When I say this word curriculum vitae or CV that you call, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? I need some answers. What is the first thing that you, yes, Sachin?
Somebody looking for a job change.
Yes. Can I have more answers? What is the first thing that that strikes to you whenever you see, whenever you hear about CV?
Representation of a life's achievements, of your life's achievements.
Exactly. So usually we think of penning down best of our ability and personality while drafting our CVs, right? But there's one thing that you will never do is list your failures in your CV. Did you ever think of this? Today, with this theme, CV of failures, I will be giving you a platform to discuss your failures, to have more honest conversations about your journey so far. Today, our meeting will be divided into three parts. Firstly, the prepared speeches session, where our members will be delivering their speeches. The second part will be thinking and speaking on their feet skills, where the members will definitely show their skills. This is also known as the impromptu speech session or the table topic section. Now, the last and the most important part will be the evaluation section. As the Toastmaster of the day, it is my duty to introduce before you all the appointment holders. So I would like to call General Evaluator Toastmaster Ragini, who will describe their duties. Please welcome with me our General Evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Ragini. Over to you, Toastmaster Ragini.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for introducing me. Now, failures and setbacks are not all doom and gloom as we think. They can be seen as opportunity to grow as a human being, as a Toastmaster. Every failure you face in your life comes as a success later, or maybe contributes to a success later in life. While you pen down those successes in your CV in some 50 words, a million of words in your head and soul defines the hard work, the lessons, the failures you've been through to be able to write those 50 words of success. So yes, success doesn't come overnight. It is achieved through consistent efforts over time. And to give your efforts a direction, I have my team with 3 remarkable evaluators who would probably count your hiccups or maybe realize your setbacks today, but only to help you rebound and make it a success in your next performance. Remember, a setback is a setup for a comeback. I request the tech master to spotlight the role players as I introduce them and describe their responsibilities. First, our timer Hema today. To make our communication concise, we have the timer Hema. Please display the cards, Hema, if you could, as I announce the cards. Every prepared speech is subjected to a time limit of 5 to 7 minutes. You see this green light at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7 minutes of time. There is a 30 seconds grace period on either side. Every table topic speech is again subjected to a time limit of 1 to 2 minutes. You see the green light at 1, yellow at 1.5, red at 2 minutes of time. There is a 30 seconds grace period on the upper side. Lastly, every evaluation is subjected to a time limit of 2 to 3 minutes. You see green light at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5 minutes, and red at 3 minutes of time. There is a 30 seconds grace period on either side. Thank you, Toastmaster Hema. Now, to make our communication clear and free of any filler words, we have with us our counter, Prateek Goyal. He will make, can we please spotlight Prateek first? Thank you. So Prateek will make the note of pauses, repetitions, sounds, and fumbles like ahs, filler words like you know, so, I mean, etc., used by speakers and role players. And finally, to make our communication correct, we have the grammarian with us, Toastmaster Madhurima.
Right.
Thank you. Now, Toastmaster Madhurima would note down the good usages of this beautiful language, English, and also let us know where could be improved by providing some not so good usages or grammatical errors made by speakers and role players. Also, she is to introduce the word of the day, and I would now pass the stage to her to introduce the same.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So the word of the day for today is contrive. I repeat it, contrive. The meaning is to make or work out a plan for. The synonym is devise or to plan or to fabricate. For example, I would give a use of it in a sentence. If you contrive an event or situation, you succeed in making it happen. So that's it. If for convenience, I can write it on the chat, the meaning and the word of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhurima. So it is a sheer privilege to be your general evaluator today. I will present my report with my team towards the end of the meeting again, and with the hope to learn more and become more resilient with passing ups and downs. I would now hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day, Mudit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ragini. Now, before moving ahead, let us play a small game. I named this game "Who Am I?" and there would be 5 questions in this game. I'll show you a few sentences about personality, and you have to guess who is that person. And the questions are really very easy. I'm sure you all will get it in seconds. So let me share my screen once. Okay. So here we begin with who am I? My first question goes like this. Yeah. I failed in business in 1831. I suffered a nervous breakdown in 1836. I was defeated in my run for president in 1856. 1836 and 1856. Sorry for changing the dates. Who am I? From the audience, can I have someone? Yes, yes, Sachin.
President Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Okay, now, yes, you are absolutely right. Now, next question is, drop out from school at young age in failed attempt to join army. Fired from a newspaper company. My venture went bankrupt due to lack of ability to run a successful business. Who am I? You all must have seen the character which he created. Anyone from the audience? Okay, let me see.
Walt
Yeah,
Disney?
yeah, you are absolutely right. Walt Disney. Okay, here it is. Now, the third question is, ousted as CEO of my own company, Zip2, the first PayPal product was voted as one of the 10 worst business ideas. Ousted from PayPal, first ever rocket launch was a failure. Who am I? This is very easy.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Now, yeah. Now the fourth question, rejected from becoming radio jockey. I gave 9 flop films back to back. Went bankrupt in the year 2000. Yes, do we have someone? Yes, Hina, you are absolutely right. Prateek, yes, you are absolutely right. Mr. Bachchan. And the last question goes, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. 26 times I have been trusted to take the game winning shot and missed it. I have failed over and over and over again in my life. Who am I? Let me give you a hint. He is a basketball player. Okay, we have someone here in the chat. Yes, Hina is absolutely right. He is none other than Michael Jordan. Okay, so now moving further. Now taking the meeting forward with the prepared speeches. Today we will be having 2 speeches. After each speech, we will take a minute to write down some notes for the speakers to use as an evaluation of the speech. This will let the speaker know what they did well and what they need to improve upon. So our first speaker for the day is Toastmaster Nishtha. Toastmaster Nishtha has been a part of Zidin's Chicory Toastmasters Club since more than a year now. Right now, she is serving as club president. In her spare time, she loves to cook and paint. This is her 10th speech, but she will be delivering her level 4 P1 separately. This is just a practice speech for her. Her pathway is innovative planning. And today, Toastmaster Nishtha will be evaluated by Toastmaster Angela. Now, I would like to call Toastmaster Angela for reading of objective for the first speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Angela.
As Mudit mentioned, this is just a practice speech for Toastmaster Nishtha, and there are no objectives or evaluation resource material as such. But I would be focusing on Toastmaster Nishtha's voice modulation as well as her body language and the way she portrays her message, which is actually very similar to the entire objective of Toastmasters, the magic of storytelling. I would like to wish Toastmaster Nishtha all the very best. Looking forward to hear your speech.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster. So, the magic of storytelling. Interesting, right? We all love stories. A good story can convey a message, entertain, or ignite a fire within your audience. Let's look at the process of falling in love, which resembles a great story. It's a beautiful feeling in the beginning when you long and yearn for your significant other. Your brain is flooded with neurotransmitters and hormones, throwing your objectivity and observance skills out of the window. However, it is a proven fact that after 13 months, you biochemically fall out of love. And the things you love the most about that person now seems to be just normal. The same hormones and neurotransmitters can be released by a good story. These include dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. Now, let me tell you an incident that happened while I was on a trip to McLorgans with my friends. It was my very first trip without family, and I was extremely scared that how will I manage everything? But the excitement overpowered all those fears, and we started our journey. Let's jump on to day 2 of our trip. That day, for our visit to Bhaksu Falls, we were running a little late on our schedule. We started our journey at 2 in the noon, and by the time we reached the temple, it was already 4 in the evening. Then we stopped for a little snack and continued our walk towards the fall. We reached Bhaksu Falls at exact 5:30. This was the point where most tourists rest before their journey down the mountain. But there was this Shiva Cafe that we had heard a lot about, and it was a 30 minutes walk further above from that point. So we all decided to go to Shiva Cafe as it was a one-time thing and agreed to order faster so that we can leave before sunset. But one thing led to another, and by the time we paid our bills and left the cafe, it was already dark outside. And we forgot to carry our torches with us that day. Anyhow, we started to go down slowly, and somehow I was the person who was walking at the end. If I were to explain our situation, we were not able to see clearly because of darkness. On one side, we had thick mountain bushes, and on the other side was the fall. Very slowly, we got down to the main point of Bhaksu Falls, and we saw that all the shops are now closed. But even then, we shared a moment of relief that at least the hardest part is over. As we were going down, I heard some noise behind me, so I turned and I saw a man in a black hoodie was yelling and running towards us at a very fast pace. So instead of walking carefully, we started sprinting, and suddenly I felt a hand on my shoulder. Okay, wait. So how many of you guys want to know what happened after? Raise your hands. Okay, I see some. So stories about such intense situations increase your dopamine levels. As you hear such a story, you recreate it in your mind, feeling the intensity which releases dopamine. If you want your stories to have this effect, build suspense or launch a cliffhanger. Let's now move to oxytocin. The effects of oxytocin makes you more generous, trusting, and ready to bond. This is released in your blood when you hear a sad story. It makes us feel more relaxed and more human as we bond to the storyteller. For example, nowadays, if you follow Surf Excel advertisements on YouTube, they attack our oxytocin hormones by painting a picture to you first, continuing with the suspense, and ending it with a moral. It either brings tears to our eyes or a smile on our faces. Finally, there are endorphins. You create endorphins by making people laugh. Endorphins make people feel more relaxed, uh, 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 creative, and focused. Most of the stand-up comedians use this hormone to engage with audience. It is important to know which type of hormone you want your audience to experience depending on the storytelling exercise. Alas, I would conclude with a quote from a very famous novelist and author, Graham Greene. A story has no beginning or end. Arbitrarily, one chooses that moment of experience from which to look back and from which to look ahead. Thank you. Over to you, Tia Modi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nishtha. That was a great speech. And I definitely loved your way of storytelling. Now, I would request a minute silence to note down the feedback. I would request the timer, Hema, to inform after a minute.
Sure, Madhu. Madhu, 1 minute is over.
Thank you, timer, Hema. Now, our second speaker for the day is Toastmaster Himadri. Toastmaster Himadri has been a part of Great Lakes Toastmasters Club for over 6 months now. Currently, she is serving as VP Education of the club. She likes to do yoga, painting, and dancing. This is actually her third speech, and her pathway is dynamic leadership. Today, Toastmaster Himadri will be evaluated by Toastmaster Surjit. So I would like to call Toastmaster Surjit for reading of objective for the second speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Surjit.
Thank you, Timon. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Himadri is delivering her third speech, researching and presenting from dynamic and leadership path. The purpose of this project is for the member to review the basic research method and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Time for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Good luck, Himadri, for your speech. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Himadri, self-confidence, Toastmaster Himadri. Over to you, Toastmaster Himadri.
Thank you, Master Madhu. Let us understand what is self-confidence through one story. Once there was a business executive who was sunken in debt and could see no way out. Creditors were closing on him. Suppliers were demanding payment. He sat on the park bench, hat in hands, wondering if anything could save his insolvency. Suddenly, an old man appeared before him. "I can see something is worrying you," he said. After listening to the executive's views, the old man said, "I believe I can help you." He asked the man his name, wrote out a check, and pushed it into his hand, saying, "Take this money, meet me here exactly 1 year from today, and you can pay me back at that time." Then he turned and disappeared as quickly as he had come. The business executive saw in his hand a check of $1 lakh, signed by Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in the world at that time. "I can raise my money," he realized. But instead, the executive decided to put the uncashed check in his safe. Just knowing it was there might give him the strength to work out a way to save his business. He juggled, he thought about it. With revived hope, he negotiated better deals and extended terms of payment. He closed several big sales. Within a few months, he was out of debt and making money once again. He was very happy. Exactly after 1 year, the executive returned to the park with the uncashed check, $1 lakh. At the same time, the old man appeared there. But just as the executive was about to hand back the check and share his success story to that old man, a nurse came running up and grabbed the old man. "I'm so glad I caught him," she started crying. "He is always escaping from the rest home and telling people he's Andrew." The astonished executive just stood there stunned. He was at no moment to say anything. He was just stunned. All year long, he had been wheeling and dealing, buying and selling, convinced he had a check of $1 lakh given by such a person behind him. Suddenly, he realized that it wasn't the money, real or imagined, that had returned his life around. It was he who found his new self-confidence that gave him the power to achieve anything he went after. There he came to know the power of self-confidence, the self-confidence inside a person that will help the person to achieve anything in his or her life. The story helps us to understand how important self-confidence play in one's life. Whether it's delivering speech, playing badminton, studying, or normal performance, one needs confidence in one's life. Without self-confidence, humans can be imagined as a body with no soul. I was around 12 years old. Me, along with my family, parents, went to Tirupati Balaji for worshipping. The crowd was at its peak as it was full moon day. The queue was never ending with 5 to 6 hours waiting time. Along with that, it was heavy rain that day. All electronic gadgets were submitted and we all were going to stand in a queue as we were to go worshipping of the Tirupati Balaji. Suddenly, a big crowd came and I got detached from the queue and separated from my parents. I got scared. Now, for some moment of time, I got scared. After 10 to 15 minutes, I tried to console myself. I gained all that self-confidence I had that my parents will be with me. And then I started remembering all that particular spots we visited so that I can contact my parents somehow. I directly went to the place where electronic gadgets were submitted, waiting there for 20 to 25 minutes, and I stood still there. I never went anywhere. And then I saw my parents searching me. They finally found me. That day, I came to know self-confidence helps you to take adequate decisions. Taking decisions at right moment of time with right self-confidence, confident would be able to deliver one's work adequately, nicely. We all have that confidence inside ourselves. We all need that spark in our life that will help us to gain self-confidence, which will ultimately lead to our building. This, I want to end it with a beautiful quote. All in this is ignorance, confidence, and success is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Himati, for such a great speech. And I also believe self-confidence is like a superpower, and one should definitely have self-confidence. Now, I would request Toastmaster Hema for a minute silence and inform us when a minute is over.
Toastmaster Mudit, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hema. It's now time for selecting the best speaker for the day. So I would request Toastmaster Nimit for giving us the link for the poll. Okay. Guys, please cast your vote.
Please go on, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay. So we have Himadri Shukla as the winner for the best speaker for the day. Congratulations, Himadri.
Thank you,
Now,
Mudit.
now let us begin with the impromptu portion of our meeting. The table topics should challenge us and help us think on our feet without any preparation. Please help me welcome our table topic master for the day, Toastmaster Abhishek. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhishek.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. A very good afternoon to one and all. So let's start with the table topic section, right? I think everyone is dearly waiting for this section because only, I guess, 2 or 3 speakers, there are 2 or 3 speakers, they can actually participate and give a certain amount of speech. So let me tell you how we're going to proceed, and then we can pick our first contestant. And please help me by raising your hand or comment in the chat section so that I could volunteer. Okay, so today's theme for table topics is success and failure. Now, there are a couple of situations and you need to tell about your perspective, how you're gonna go, what is success for you and what is failure for you. For example, I would be giving you a topic like, what would be success and failure mean if you meet a beggar on road signal? Now, you have certain kind of success perspective and failure. Suppose maybe for me, if I go bypass a beggar, maybe I can give him money and that could be a success for me. And maybe I choose to ignore him, that could be a failure. So that is a little tiny perspective, how we can go about these topics. So I think we are good to go. Timer, please note, the length of table topic is from 1 to 2 minutes, and 1 being the green card and 2 being the red card, 1 being the green. So let's start with the first one. Any volunteer? Nasir Khan. Okay, Nasir. Nasir, what would be let me just do a audio video check. Nasir, can you hear me?
Yes, Abhishek. I am not using my video, so I will speak on audio only. Is it okay?
Yeah, Nasir, that would be okay. So,
am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Nasir. Let me give you a topic. Nasir, what would be success and failure mean if you are a infamous terrorist? What would be success and failure means if you are an infamous terrorist? Over to you, Nasir.
Infamous terrorist.
You could bomb a city. I mean, that could be a success for you, like 9/11.
If I am the terrorist, then definitely as a terrorist, I would will target to the people, and I will want to make my influence over the over the world. So I will do such kind of things by which I can be known all over the world as a terrorist. So definitely in that field I want I want to be number one, and definitely I have I have to do things differently. I will plot something which will create hue and cries, and then my name will glorify. Yeah, that will be in the negative way, but I am in such a line, in negative line, then definitely I have to, for making me success in that particular field, I have to do that kind of work only, because ultimately I have chosen that path. So for becoming a success in that particular field, I have to do that kind of work. So yeah, so I think that would be the success for this particular situation. Thank you, Abhishek, for giving me that topic. But yeah, that was a very good opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Nasir. The objective of this topic was to start on a funnier topic, and I think you did that pretty well. Okay, so let's start and proceed towards next topic. And we have Hina Verma with us. Sachin will be the next. Let's go with the Hina first. Hina Verma, what would be success and failure mean if you encounter a wounded animal on road? What would be success and failure mean if you encounter a wounded animal on road? Over to you, Hina.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. I think I do want to start off with the note that I love animals, and I'm very attached to animals as a child, and now having grown up, and probably now that I'm a mother, my maternal instincts are a lot more higher. So should I see a wounded animal on the road, I think I would contrive to make everything possible to be able to support and help bring some semblance to this wounded animal. In fact, I do want to make sure that whatever is in my best of capacity, I try and do that instantaneously. But if I feel that there are things which are beyond my control, then I would surely feel that instead of taking it as my personal failure, I would rather ask myself that how do I make most of the situation and find the best expert around, whether it is a doctor or an alternative who could really help support. As I think about success and failure as a definition to me, I would surely say success would be to immediately find that sign of hope where I'm able to heal this person. And a failure from my part would be to ignore that what I see in front of me and move on. I do want to bring your attention to what is in my background. It is a kintsugi bowl. It's a Japanese art of bringing together things which are broken. A lot of us face a lot of things in life which are broken, but bringing it together, joining it to make it something more beautiful is what kintsugi achieves and tries to achieve. And I think that's something beautiful which we all can learn, even if it means helping support someone who's hurt and trying to heal. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. Over to you.
Thank you, Hina. And I definitely agree with you that whenever we see some misery and we see someone we can help, whether it's a person or animal, we should go on and try to help in every way we can possibly. So that is a really great speech. Thank you. So let's move with our next table topic speaker, Sachin Kaushik. Sachin, can I have your audio video check with me? Please speak a sentence or.
Yes. Am I visible and audible?
Yes, Sachin, you are. So let me give you a topic. What would be success and failure mean if you are a president of a country? What would be success and failure mean if you are president of a country? Sachin, over to you.
If I am a president of the country, considering presidential kind of democracy, success for me will be to maintain peace, harmony among different caste, creed people, make people literate, make people sensible, and make people to mix with each other, to help each other. And there should not be any kind of poverty. Maybe in some countries we see that, or I must say most of the country we see that money lies with only a chunk of people, whereas most of the people strive in poverty. So I would try to enforce such laws that some chunk of people will not be able to gain more. As far as failure is concerned, if I am not able to bring justice to even a single person, then definitely it would be in any form, then definitely it would be my failure. And I would never hesitate to take the responsibility, because generally this is something which we see that leaders very quite often avoid and just shift the responsibilities to the conditions and other people. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you a lot, Sachin. I would say that was a great perspective towards the country, and I hope our great leaders would definitely include this kind of thought perspective. Okay, then let's proceed to our next table topic speaker, Yash Gupta. Yash, can you listen to me? Can you listen to me? And please do an audio video check by.
Yeah, sure.
Giving a second. So,
am I audible?
Yes, you are. Okay, then. Yeah. What would be success and failure mean if you are the naughtiest person in the class? What would be success and failure mean if you are the naughtiest person in the class? Yash, over to you.
So, the success and failure if I am the naughtiest person in the class. Now, this gives me a huge space of liberty to think for what area will I be noticed. Now, I could be noticed for a couple of things, one of which will be for coming late to the class. Now, in such a scenario, the success would be my willingness to come to the class the initiative to stay in the class, even though that I know that I'm late. And the failure would be to not even trying to enter the class just because of the thought that what would others say that I'm so late in the class and that I shouldn't get to enter. Now, the success and failure is completely related terms. And I personally believe in the words of the Bill Cosby, like the way he said that in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. So overcoming the thought of failure that I would fail, I would not succeed, is the success in itself for me. So with that, I like to thank you, Toastmaster, for giving me such an amazing topic. And over back to you, Tabletop Master.
Thanks a lot, Yash. I really like the fact that you actually changed the topic a bit and you could speak on something which you think you can get some content for. That's a great topic, and thank you for your speech. So let's move on to our next speaker, Chandesh. Chandesh, can I have your audio video check, please? And
yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are, Chandesh. And just for the notice, please raise your hands using the emoticon so that I can nominate you next, or you put your name in the chat box. That will do. Okay then. Chandesh, what would be success and failure if you are the most inactive member of Toastmaster Club? Chandesh, what would be success and failure mean if you are the most inactive member of Toastmaster Club? Over to you.
A very good afternoon to all fellow Toastmaster brothers, sisters, and dear guests. Abhishek, is this topic or are you any knowing my nature or future? Okay, anyway, success and failure is only concepts. I think sometimes failure is more better than early success, because success leads to ego. Early success make you egoistic and you will not learn and grow in your future, while failure is not failure but is a learning process. Failure is there is no as such failure, because either you succeed or you learn. In Toastmaster meeting, if I am able to hide myself in table topic as an inactive member, then it will be my success. But to face my fear and raise my hand, and if I am able to speak something, then I will able to face and raise against my fear, and I will grow in whatever we are trying to improve, because what we are here for improving our communication skill, leadership skill, and public speaking skill. So people, raise your hand and assist Abhishek for table topic. Over to you, Abhishek.
Thank you a lot, Chandesh. I'm not a president of the club and I'm not from BP membership, but I like the gestures you provided at the last of the meeting, that everyone should raise their hand even if they get a chance or not, and you will, mark my words. Thank you a lot once again, Chandesh, for a wonderful speech. And all those who are inactive, please come to the meetings, speak your mind, whatever it comes to mind. Okay then. Let's move on to our next speaker, that is Hansika Jaryal. Thank you, Hansika, for raising your hand. Hansika, what would be success and failure mean if your mother is sick at home? What would be success and failure mean if your mother is sick at home? Hansika, over to you.
It so much relates to me, the current situation I'm in. It was like a few days back when my mother was sick, and I have this little brother at home who would not help at all in any of the like house chores or anything else that I ask him to do. So while my mother is sick and when I have a lot of work, the office work as well, and the housework as well, and even if the maid comes, you have to keep a watch of everything and stuff like that. So it was so much hectic for me to like take control of every particular thing that was happening up in the house. So, well, I came out really well with it. That praised me that I was actually controlling things well. Also, when a mother is ill, every house can relate, like every member of the house can relate, that whenever a mother is ill, everything gets down in the house. You have to keep a check of the dinner, the lunch, the food that you get. You have to keep a check of the cleaning the house. You have to keep a check of everything, and then the responsibility has to, be passed on to someone responsible in the house. So since I was the one for that, so again, success would be to do that well, which I think like without having somebody ask, responsibility is quite tough. And I don't know whether I was successful or not, but a success would definitely be to kind of do that role very well as a mother. And nobody actually can do that. So anyway, and failure would be to actually, since my mother was back on her feet in 1 or 2 days, so I think that was success. And failure would be to not be able to take care of her. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Hansika. That was a wonderful speech. And I must admit that mother is something we need to take care of. She definitely is the most important part of our life. And whenever she needs us, we should be there by any means. And there are no compromises there. Thank you for a wonderful speech. And we have our next speaker with us. Guys, please raise your hand whenever you can. This is just a way you can speak about your perspective. That's all. You consider your failure and success, what I come to mind, just speak. Okay, then. So we have our next speaker with us, Rajesh. Rajesh, what would be success and failure mean if you are the most corrupt police officer? What would be success and failure means if you are the most corrupt police officer? Rajesh, over to you.
दुखेषु उद्विग्नमना सुखेषु वितराग स्पृह वितराग भय क्रोधो स्थिति धी मुनिर्च्यते. Whatever, whether it is a success or failure, if you are keeping quiet and understanding the situations, then you are it is a success for all. So if coming to my case, if I'm a corrupted officer and you are asking what is a success and failure for me, definitely the first times when I saw a lot of money, and at times I was so much excited. Hey, I'm getting, without any effort, I'm getting so much money or so much. But later I noticed it is not about that my hard money. So we should observe and we should come out from that situations. How we can make the system clean and safe. That part we need to think. If I can do, means I can clear all those things, or I can do a perfect, I can show my example to others, then that would be a success for me. If I'll continue like this, the corrupted officer, then definitely it is a failure. So whether it is a success or failure, you should be keep calm and try to deliver your things. Like this, what I am doing right now. Over to you, Abhishek.
Thanks a lot, Rajesh. And we do need honest police officers for this country to progress. So thank you for a wonderful speech. And we have our next speaker with us, Achyut, if I pronounce that name correctly. Achyut, can I have an audio video check?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are, Achyut. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is it?
That was perfect, Abhishek.
Okay, then great. Achyut, what would be success and failure mean if you are the richest person in the world? What would be success and failure mean if you are the richest person in the world? Achyut, over to you.
Thank you, Abhishek. If I'm the richest person on this earth, I think success would mean to be able to enjoy that money uh, with with everybody who's around me, because I believe that money would be in plenty, and in case I'm able to help anybody who's in need and use that surplus which is available with me with my family and friends, that would be success for me. And contributing in charity in the form of charity uh, would also count in my success. Whereas failure would mean if I'm with that amount of money, if I'm not able to spend it with somebody else or share that with anybody else, or there's no opportunity for me to use that money, that would be a failure for me. And in case I don't have good health to spend that money, so all these enablers which would actually allow me to spend that money, if they're not there, that would be a personal failure. I think I've answered that, Abhishek. Over to you.
Thank you, Achyut. You definitely have answered. Thank you for your wonderful, wonderful speech. Okay, then we have last topic for this table topic session. Any volunteer or okay, Parmita. Can you hear me, Parmita?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes.
Is it? Okay. Okay. Parmita, you are audible and you are visible. So let me give you a topic. What would be success and failure if you are a president of a Toastmaster club? What would be success and failure mean if you are the president of a Toastmaster club? Over to you.
So, if I would be the president of Toastmaster Club, then I define success as making participate all the members and check out whether every member who has joined this club, whether their purpose is getting solved or not, what are the purpose they have joined this club, and in that way we can make all the agenda for this meeting, and the meeting is going as per the agenda within the timeline, and end of the day it will serve the purpose of each and every member's goal. So in that way I can say that yes, it is if it is serve the goal, I can count is as my success. And against if it is not achieve the goal and the members are not happy, and it is not serving any kind of it is not giving any kind of positive it is not serving the purpose, then it is counted as an failure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Parmita, for that speech. I mean, you can use this speech when you want to nominate yourself for the president of the club. So that would help. And thank you for this wonderful, wonderful session. And I really admire one thing, that I didn't need to pick around you guys, any folk, because all of you had pretty much had your hand raised, and I can see a lot of guys or folks putting their hand and want to join this wonderful session. Thank you for that. You have been a wonderful audience. That's all from my side. Looking forward to join you again. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek, for those challenging and interesting topics. And I love the topic which you started your session with, that terrorist one. So now moving forward, let us vote for the best table topic speaker of the day. Okay, now we will declare the results in the end. And before moving forward, I want to hear from all of you about your failures in life. Let me share my screen and let me write your failures. Okay. So is my screen visible to all of you? So I would, for starting, I would like to start with my failure. After engineering, after my 12th, instead of going to theaters, I had a chance to go to different theater clubs. But instead of going there, I opted for engineering, and I consider that as a failure in my life. So I would write as considering opting out from theater club for engineering. So can we have anyone who want to discuss about their failures? We have a platform here. Guys, am I audible to you? So can we have anyone, or should I cold call like we do in campus? Okay, yeah, Angela.
I guess a failure for me has always been the times that I have let my underconfidence stop me from doing something that I really wanted to do. As in, if I wanted to sing in front of some people, but I just felt shy, or let my underconfidence or let my low self-confidence take over my mind instead of actually doing what I actually wanted to do. So that has been a consistent failure for me that I'm trying to improve on.
Low self-confidence,
Yep.
hampering work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can we have, okay, we have Sachin. Yes, Sachin.
Humans are the sculptures of failure. So do I. I can write a book about my failures. But at this moment, I would like to discuss one of my failure, which is a stage fear. This was my own mistake. Many a times I was called by my teachers to come on the stage, but I thought it's not my cup of tea. And later on in my life, I realized that I have missed a big opportunity to project myself. But still, as it is said, there is no age to learn. I'm here again. I have joined Toastmasters. I'm trying to overcome that fear. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachin. That was absolutely great. Now we have three people, Mudit, Angela, and Sachin, who were quite open about their failures. Thank you, guys. Now, okay. Moving forward with the next and the most important section of our meeting, I would like to call on stage Toastmaster Ragini, who is the general evaluator for the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Ragini.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. And with this, we land to the most important segment, that is evaluations. I will state my detailed evaluation for all role players towards the end of the section. To spearhead the process, let me first begin with my team forward so that I can evaluate them as well. I will start with the speech evaluators. With all due respect, I'd like to invite my first evaluator, Toastmaster Angela Jacob, on stage to evaluate the speaker one.
General evaluator. For my evaluation for Toastmaster Nishtha, you had amazing hand movements. I believe your hand movements were really out there. You showed every expression, every action so gracefully, so wonderfully. And we could feel our presence being in the story there with you, because even the temple and everything you made, you just showed every action. So your hand movements were on point. Even though you were standing and giving your speech, and we understand that this is on a virtual platform, but I feel like you had space around you, and we could have probably used that space better. Even moving around just a little bit would have brought more impact. I believe that when it comes to your voice modulation, we can improve a bit more, as in for certain instances, as in a part in your story where you said you felt extremely scared when the hand came on your shoulder, or you found a sense of relief. So you could use that voice modulation to really express yourself better, and probably even add some sound effects, onomatopoeias. So when you said the hand came on your shoulder, maybe you could have let out a small scream, or maybe a gasp, that sort of a thing. Other than that, I believe your speech was absolutely wonderful. You covered all the points for absolutely on-point storytelling that could really engage an audience. You spoke about it uh, technically as well as in layman's language, which was brilliant on both ends, where you spoke about oxytocin and endorphins, and on the other hand, you spoke about just bringing in moments of suspense and adding morals to your story. You ended with a wonderful quote at the end, and you did it well within time. And I think you did a really, really great job. And I wish you all the very best for ISC and your upcoming speeches. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Angela. And now we move forward to our second evaluator, Toastmaster Surjit Laknotra, to provide the evaluation for our second speaker of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. First of all, I congratulate Himadri for completing her speech and path also. She started with the story of a businessman, Andrew, to explain the concept of the self-confidence. She also narrated her own story to justify the topic in her speech. Also, she gave many beautiful messages to the audience. Audience was very well engaged. Her confidence was awesome. Eye contacts were awesome. Hand movements were good. She is delivering her speech on self-confidence with awesome confidence. And I appreciate Himadri on this, as you have justified the speech topic. Few commendation from my side. Eye contact was awesome. You were capable, comfortable on screen, stage. Speech was well researched and well rehearsed. Vocal variety was good. There is clarity in your speech, and each message was clear. Audience interest was good. I saw you were confident and you have good body language. Now, few recommendation from my side. You were using your hand gestures, but I noticed that they were out of the screen. If you sit a little bit far from your camera, that would be helpful, because audience can see your hand gestures also. No, second recommendation is, though speech was well delivered, but one recommendation from my side is, if you could have also mentioned the source of the information from you have gathered this information, that would be that would look more authentic. I saw you were audience was engaged, but you could involve them by asking a few questions, or any type of questions that they can also involve in your speech. Side of the camera, sometimes that was giving message that you were thinking or remembering something at that time. This could be avoided in next speech. No, these were the recommendation and recommendation from my side. Overall, speech was well researched and its presentation was wonderful. You justified your topic while keeping your confidence high throughout the speech. With this, I congratulate you for fulfilling the objective of the project.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. उससे बात कर लो ना फोन में.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surjit. Moving on, I would now request for the Best Feature Evaluator poll. Thank you, Nimit. Perfect. So now I would now provide a quick evaluation for the table topic speakers, which was our second segment of the meeting, before we move on to my tag team. Now, speaker 1, Nasir, you took a small pause intelligently to think over the topic. I appreciate the examples you tried to portray with a tinge of humor added. However, I still feel there was a scope to play around the topic, so it was not fully explored. So you could work on that a little. Speaker 2 for the day, Hina, you started off with a positive, lovely note, and that in general actually creates a positive vibe for others in audience to absorb what you say as well. So your description had a beautiful takeaway with some personal attributes as well. And let me all tell you, Hina joined us yesterday itself. So as a first time table topic speaker after long, I couldn't have asked for a better structure to your speech. Speaker 3 was Sachin. Sachin, your delivery was to the point. I could sense a leader talking about his perspective, just that I felt you focused on one side of the topic more. So that was a kind of a hiccup at one place. And as an audience, I was looking forward to know the other side of the story as well. Our speaker 4, Yash. As naughty speech as your topic, and by naughty, I meant some fun examples you used to get yourself caught in situations, a tricky situation you added. So you started off well. Then I felt you digressed a little from the topic. So maybe a more focused approach would be helpful for your next speech. Our speaker 5, Chandesh. I think we all of a sudden have a lot to speak when the word Toastmasters is added to our table topic. So similarly, you began with a lot of descriptive words, you added humor, you resonated with all those Toastmasters messages. So I appreciate the thought process, but again would suggest you to elaborate more personal experiences which you could have quoted through your topic. Speaker 6 was Hansika. So Hansika, I've been listening to your table topics from a couple of meetings now. I definitely see a steep progress and structure of your speech, as in I see you connecting the dots with opening, body, and conclusion. Nevertheless, today your speech was somewhere disturbed by a low bandwidth issue, but that could have been covered with your next speeches. Speaker 7 was Rajesh. Rajesh, you won my heart with a strong quote on success. Reiterating the topic and then answering or stating the views is a smart way to process thoughts in your mind. So smart pick of words. And again, I was hoping to hear more addition of content because you ended up very early. Now, speaker 8 was Achyut. Achyut, you seemed very comfortable on the stage while speaking. That aura was created, that comfort and warmth was created. Content-wise, you had an opinion. I just recommend you to add more examples to back it up so that it creates a conviction. Speaker 9 was Paramita for the day, and she was the last speaker. Paramita, very well signposted points. I think you are the only one who explicitly defines success first and then failure second as a hypothetical president of the club. So your USP would be how you approached the topic, your approach towards the topic. Some short of words were there, but you can cover it up with practice. So with this, I end my evaluation for the table topic speakers. And now we step forward to have the evaluation from my tag team so that I can evaluate the role players and my tag team towards the end as well. And now I move forward with my Grammarian report. Over to you, Toastmaster Madhurima.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ragini. So first I would like to begin that the word of the day wasn't used in this meeting. Next, what I would like to say is that my role is as a grammarian. I have to give my constructive criticism. So here I start. So I have noticed that there was a usage as then we stopped. It was a really abrupt sentence. It could have been used in a better way, like by the time we stopped. However, there was this usage which I loved, that was build suspense or launch cliffhanger. Like I really liked the way it was portrayed. Next, another phrase or that was another sentence that was used, quote that was used: a story has no beginning or end. Arbitrarily, one chooses that moment of experience from which to look back or from which to look ahead. I believe that this reflects so deeply on life, on the philosophy of life, and I really loved it. There was a time where it was used like he was not a stunt. So it doesn't seem good when you hear it. It should be he was stunned. It could have been used like that. However, there was a sentence which said that without self-confidence, humans can be imagined as a body without any soul. And that is so true. I totally agree with the person who said that. However, in that speech, there was a time it was said that it was heavily raining. It was heavy rain, and it should be used like it was heavily raining. And since we were speaking in past tense, it should have been as we went and not as we go. So this would be my side. Okay. So for the table topic, coming to the table topic, I would like to say that becoming success is not a good usage. It could have been used as becoming successful. And next, it would have been like attached from childhood. It could have been used better if you have used like attached since childhood. However, I would like to congratulate Hina when she used that Kintsugi bowl example and how beautifully she explained putting pieces back together. I really loved it. Next, it would there was a usage as maintain peace harmony. It should have been maintaining peace harmony. Again, I love this part where Yash said, in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your success for failure. And I think that is what exactly we should follow. There was a usage as is our only concept. No, it should be as our only concepts. And keep our check of everything is not a thing. It should be keep our check on everything. And there was a point where it was used as should keep calm. It should be keeping calm on that situation. And coming to the end, there was a situation where it was mentioned the purpose for they joined. It was not connecting. It should be the purpose for which they joined. It is serve the goal. No, it should be like it is serving the goal. And since we are talking about a future situation, it should be like when the goals will be achieved and will count for failure instead of when the goals being achieved or it is counted, because since we are explaining something when we should be in future. And there were few mispronunciations in this meeting, so I would like to correct them. One was it should be helpful, authentic, hormones, extended, ego, success, failure, example. Thank you. That would be from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhurima. And now I would like to move forward with my counter, Toastmaster Prateek, to present his evaluation report.
Thank you, Journal Evaluator Ragini. So here's my report. So Sergeant of Arm Sergeant of Arm Rajesh, Presiding Officer Nimit, Presiding Officer Yash. You guys didn't have any fillers. You occasionally took a pause, one or two there. Mudit, TMOD, had 3 filler words and no pause or repeat. Ragini, you were flawless today. No pause, repeat or filler words. And table topic master Abhishek had few filler words, mainly Moving to the speakers, speaker 1 had 3 filler words and a pause and a repeat. Himadri had 2 filler words, mostly no pause and just 1 repeat. Moving to evaluators, speech evaluators. Speech evaluator 1, Angelina, I'm sorry if pronounced it wrong. You had 4 fillers and no repetition, no pause. Speech evaluator 2, Surjit, had 3 fillers, mostly and 2 repetitions. Moving now to the table topics. Speaker 1, Nasir, had more than 5 filler words, mostly were no repetitions or pauses. Speaker 2, Hina, had more than 5 filler words, mostly again, and no pause or repeat. Sachin, you were flawless, no pause, no repeat, and no fillers. Yash had no fillers but had a small pause. Chandesh had 3 filler words, no pause and repeat. Hansika had more than 5 fillers, mostly were so, and no pause and repeat. Rajesh again was flawless, no repetition, no pauses, and no fillers. Achyut had exactly 5 filler words, mostly were had a small pause and no repetition. And the last table topic speaker, Paramita, had more than 5 filler words, mostly were and had a small pause and no repetition. Back to you, General Evaluator Ragini.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pratik. And now we move on to our timer report by timer Hema.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I will be sharing my screen. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all the speakers, evaluators, and table topic speakers for completing their speech well in time. Starting with the speeches, Nishtha, she is completing her level 4. So her time limit was like 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. She completed her speech well in time. For Himadri, she is on level 1 and her time limit was 4 to 6 minutes. She also completed her speech well in time. Coming to table topic speakers, the minimum time required to complete your table topic speeches is 2 minutes, 1 minute, and the maximum is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So being in Toastmasters, it is encouraged to make full of use of the time which is allotted to you. So on that level, Nasir, Hina, Hansika, and Chandesh, you did a really good job. Moving on to evaluation sections, Surjit and Angela, you also completed your evaluations well in time. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hema. Now, Abraham Maslow said, you will either step forward into growth or step back into safety. So don't hesitate to take that step. Talking about fiascos and successes, my evaluation for the meeting and role players will follow a sequential order. First, Sergeant at Arms. Sergeant at Arms set the ball rolling by starting the meeting right on time. Thank you for the poll. Quickly, can we answer the poll first? Moving on, Sergeant at Arms set the ball right by starting the meeting right on time. Club mission statement and ground rules were properly read by the Sergeant at Arms. Moving on, Toastmaster of the day, theme of the day, CV of failures. Well chosen, strong theme. A profound insight was provided by engagement with games, interacting with the team. I have two recommendations for you. One small recommendation is, it is your responsibility to introduce the speaker and not the evaluator, which we missed for our speaker number 1. And second, please keep a hold of time so that we divide evenly between the various segments of the meeting. Table topic master. Table topic section was properly explained. Table topics were appropriate and interesting. I like the way you revolved around the theme, the topics around the theme, and +1 for your encouragement comments after each table topic speaker. Now, quick commendation for both the speech evaluators. Speech objectives were properly read out. Commendations and recommendations were meaningful, to the point, and the tone was positive and encouraging. So kudos to all of you, the both of you. One small recommendation for speech evaluator 1, Angela, which is in line with the DMOD, that once you've stated the objectives for your speaker, you have to pass the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day. to read out the title of the speech for the speaker, which we missed for speaker number 1. It also helps to alert the audience and specifically the evaluators and the timer to start in the forum. Now moving on, timer. Role was very well explained. Times were properly read out. Timer cards were shown appropriately. So good on that part. Our counter report was again very detailed. You set an encouraging tone overall. Just sometimes sharing screen and displaying the report creates more impact, so you can try the same next time. Grammarian role was very well explained. Word of the day explained verbally as well as through the chat box. I guess you missed the speaker's name who used the word of the day and the only speaker name who used the word of the day. But overall, an encouraging tone and a detailed report. Overall, meeting was conducted very smoothly. Speeches did not feature offensive language. One small recommendation for everybody present inside the room, rather a question first. How does it feel to speak on black screens? I am sure it is not as fulfilling as to speak with real faces and look at beautiful smiles and expressions. So come on, by now we all are comfortable with Zoom enough that we could switch on our videos and let our speakers be comfortable on stage. So please, I would encourage everyone to switch on to your videos while you are in a virtual forum. And keep in mind that losing is a part of winning. When you fall down, get up, keep moving forward, and it will only happen when you try to figure out things, how far you can go. With this, I would now hand over the stage back. With this, I would actually call out the polls for best auxiliary role player also, before I miss it.
We have done that, Ragini, before your evaluation. So
okay.
All good.
Thank you. And I would hand over the stage to the Toastmaster of the day, right on time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ragini, for such a great evaluation. So in the end, I would like to suggest everybody that we all should benefit from being a little more open about our failures with others and realizing that even our academic and professional idols are imperfect. They all have faced their failures and their worst days. This can definitely be a big help when it comes in getting through our own failures. So now I would like to give the stage to the presiding officer of Great Lakes Gurgaon Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Yash. Over to you, Toastmaster Yash.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mudit. Now, what an amazing meeting. Like, seriously. And first of all, I really like to thank for this joint meeting and the idea of the joint meeting. Now, to start with, I remember the words of the John Wooden. He said that without proper self-evaluation, failure is inevitable. But for self-evaluation, one should recognize the need for evaluation. And that's exactly what the today's evaluation session did. And I really like to thank our general evaluator, Toastmaster Ragini, for doing such a wonderful job. And it was a spot-on evaluation with so much vivid details and explanations. And I also like to thank her tech team. And because this evaluation session is the favorite part of the Toastmasters for me, because it gives an opportunity to contrive for improvement. And I also remember the words of the Mark Twain, like he said, like continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. So there's no limit to the words on highlighting the importance of the evaluation session. So kudos for doing that wonderfully, that general evaluator Ragini. Now, without wasting of much of your time, I like to call my co-presiding officer for the today's meeting, Toastmaster Nimit, to talk about the awards and talk with the guests for the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Nimit.
Thank you, Yash, for so beautifully presiding over today's meeting and representing the club Great Lakes Gurgaon. And I must congratulate all the role players today for putting in their efforts from the last 1 week to put up such a professional show. I am sure how professional they are in their MBA journey as well. So can we have a huge round of applause, please, for all the role players and all the speakers who did attempt a table topic today. Yes, you all deserve it. And Yash, I mean, I am totally so bowled out by the quotes you have been putting in this meeting today, and I should have noted them down as well. Perhaps I'll check the recording later on. But let us check on the various guests we have today. So we have a plethora of guests today. So I request one by one to come up, please, and very quickly in 1 or 2 lines share a very crisp, short feedback of this meeting. And after that, we will be declaring the results of the winners of today's meeting. And who knows, it could be you too while you attempted the table topic. So we'll start with Achyut Sharma. Yeah, let us be very quick. Achyut, if you are available, please go on.
Sorry, Nimit, I lost you there due to low bandwidth. Can you please repeat the ask?
Yeah, just a very quick feedback in 1 or 2 lines.
It was a nice opportunity to open up in front of everybody and primarily strangers, except barring one of them, Prateek, who's a good friend of mine who brought me here today. Really thankful, Prateek, to introduce me to the Toastmasters group. And thank you, Nimit, for the opportunity.
Thanks, Achyut. I mean, we meet at 1:30, not at 2:30 every Sunday. So you can be part of our meeting going forward. We'll share the details with you all. Okay, then we come to Hansika Jaryal, who has been coming to our meetings very regularly from the last 1 month or so. What do you have to say, Hansika?
Hello, everybody. Yes, I have been coming from quite a long time now. And I always look forward to the table topics because that's where we have something to put in. So since I look forward to the table topics, I always want something humorous in that. Like that'll be really good. That if every table topic has some part where we can laugh out and have that experience, that humorous experience. So that's it from my side, maybe.
Sure, thanks, Hansika. So just for your information, we have an engaging humor path in Pathways Toastmasters as well. I mean, if you do look forward to be a very humorous speaker, so there is definitely something for you to take back and be a humorous public speaker. We go on to Rama. Are you available, Rama?
Hi. So I found it good, but I'm not a very talkative person, so I'm little hesitant to participate in all the activities. But I liked it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, and no worries. I mean, when I joined Toastmasters, it took me 4 meetings to come on the stage and attempt a table topic. Until then I was just in a fascination about all this, and then I took the leap and attempted a table topic. So, but then I hope you come on the virtual stage to speak with us very soon, and looking forward to have you next week as well. So we go on to. I think we are done with the guests, if I'm not wrong. We have Sachin. Let us have Sachin. And after that, I will be declaring the results.
Hi, hello everyone. I enjoyed a lot. It was a nice meeting. And my apologies, I couldn't turn on my camera as I'm at work right now. And I look forward to join again. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachin, for multitasking and taking time out to be part of our meeting along with working on Sunday. So yes, kudos to you. And I hope next time around you are not working and are able 100% available with us. So we have the winners ready. I have the polling results in front of me. Let me just share the results with you. Starting with the best auxiliary role player, it was among Timer Hema, our counter Prateek, and Grammarian Madhurima. The Tech Master, I was the Tech Master in the mix as well, but I didn't win it today. No worries. So it's a tie. In fact, between the timer and our counter Prateek. So can we have a huge round of applause? And moving on to the best table topic speaker. So we have a clear winner for that matter. So Toastmaster Hina, congratulations to you on winning the best table topics speaker today. Then we have the best evaluator. I mean, what's going on today? I mean, I think both the clubs are equal at par today, because both the evaluators tied to getting 50% of votes. So congratulations to you both, Angela and Surjit. And I mean, there is still, but then there's last poll, which is still to be launched. I will be launching it now. I had kept the best for the last, the best role player award. But then you have to poll for that. So I'm launching it now. It's among the Toastmaster of the day, Mudit, Table Topics Master Abhishek, and the General Evaluator Ragini. Let us quickly vote for the best role. Okay, I'll close the polls. Thank you. And with just a whisker, it's won by someone who provided was very valuable feedback and evaluation, with which we are sure we are taking something back with us to improve on and come back next time a better speaker and a better communicator. So congratulations to you, General Evaluator Ragini, well deserved. All right, so with that, I would like to just draw a meeting to a close. Before that, I would like to announce that we have a guest WhatsApp group and a YouTube link, which you can follow, you can be part of, and for the details of which I have shared it on the chat window. You can go through that. And also, if you have any queries pertaining to this meeting or Toastmasters in general, you can reach out to Ragini. Her phone number and email address is mentioned there. And to nominate for any role in this meeting, to be part of the meeting actively, you can get in touch with me, and my phone number and WhatsApp is mentioned there. So you can save it there, and let us connect offline after the meeting. With that, if you have any further thoughts, please drop in any message to me and to the club. And without much ado, I would like to first of all stop the live stream. So bye bye to all who are watching us live on YouTube.